Hola clase. Today we are going to see how to work with logarithms, especially in equations. So before that, I need to know first the concept of a logarithm. And we write it as logarithm in base b of p equals q if and only if b to the power of q equals p, or equivalent to as it shows in your formula sheet with an x and a y. b to the x equals y. And remember, I write this sign and read it if and only if. And when I see this one, I read it as equivalent, saying as it's the same as saying whatever comes after. And remember that this number is always positive. There are no logarithms of negative numbers. And then I need to know the rules of exponents. Rules of logarithms, sorry. And the first one, it's the logarithm of a product. It's the sum of the logarithms. Then if I've got a quotient, it's logarithm of a minus the logarithm of b. And if I've got an exponent, a to the b, it's b times the logarithm of a. And this one, it's the one that we use a lot in applications because we can convert exponents into multiplications. So we can break it and bring a variable from the exponent to the base and then apply BEDMAS. And remember that there are some rules of exponents that we know, and they're going to have the equivalent in the logarithms because a logarithm comes from them. So the logarithm in any base of 1, it's going to be 0, and the logarithm in base b of b is going to be 1. And remember, all of that works only if I've got the same base. Now, how do I use it? First, I'm going to work normally and simplify everything I can using BEDMAS, rearranging in the ways that I know already. And then if I get to an exponent that I need to break, I'm going to use the third rule, logarithm of a to the power of b equals b times logarithm of a. And once I've got it there, I can simplify using the rules above and rearranging until I've solved my variables. And which ones I use depends on the specifics. Let's see this example. And remember, if I don't see the base, I know there is a 10. Everything has the same base. So I can start working. I see a plus there. So I'm going to use the first rule. The logarithm of a plus the logarithm of b equals logarithm of ab. It works both sides. So I'm just going to have here a product. And I can expand it as I could do normally. I have not touched this side, so I'm just going to copy it here. Now, this is the trick that we're going to use. Remember, a logarithm is an operation, so I can cancel it in both sides if I can. Here you go. Because the arguments have to be the same if the logarithm in the same base is the same. So I just eliminate it, and I'm left with a quadratic equation. So I'm just going to solve it by equating here to 0, rearranging, and then we've got different methods of solving. I'm just going to factorize here, 2 brackets, x and x, minus 2, minus 6, and that gives me my two solutions, x equals 2 or 6. Quick mental check. I know that the argument p needs to be bigger than 0. I'm all okay there. So I'm going to block it. Those are my solutions. Let's see this other example. What to do when logarithms only happen in one side of the equation. I still can simplify. So I'm going to use the logarithm of a quotient, log of a minus log of b equals log a over b. So I'm just going to copy the right hand side, and in here I'm going to create the fraction, and in this case log in base 6. And now if that happens, this is what I need to remember: the idea of the logarithm. What is the concept? Log in base b of y equals x if and only if b to the x equals y. So if I've got in this side that the logarithm in base 6 of all of that equals 1, I can move it as the exponent, 6 to the power of something. So in this case, I'm going to be left with this fraction in this side, and in here, the idea of the exponent, 6 to the power of 1, which in this case is just 6. And then I can rearrange and solve normally. I'm going to move this denominator, and I'm going to expand at the same time. So that's going to give me 6x minus 18. And then I'm going to rearrange to leave the x alone. Let me take that bar there. 5x, perfect. And then I can solve. X equals 4. So those were the two main tricks of using logarithms and applying the rules. So now it's your turn to go and practice. Thanks for watching.